dated April 23, 2020. It's 3 p.m. and this meeting is hereby called to order. And at this time, I'm going to ask Heather, our clerk, if you would please call the roll and establish quorum.
Angelique Ashby, Patrick Kennedy, Paul Hernandez,
Here.
Karina Telemontes,
Here.
Rick Jennings,
He's here.
Darren Soon,
Here.
Sue Frost,
Here.
Eric Guerra,
Here.
Good, Eric.
Jeff Slowey,
Here.
Larry Carr,
Here.
Don Natoli,
Here.
Alan Warren, Sean Farmer,
Here.
Stephanie Wynn, Garrett Gatewood.
He's here.
And I think we have a quorum. So at this time, I'm going to invite everyone who would like to rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And then Heather needs to read this statement.
This meeting of the Sacramento Public Library Authority Board is cablecast live on Metro Cable 14, the local government affairs channel on the Comcast Consolidated Communications and AT&T U.S. cable systems. The meeting is closed captioned and webcast at www.sacmetrocable.tv. Today's meeting will be repeated Saturday, April 25th at 4 p.m. and Tuesday, April 28th at 2 p.m. on Channel 14.
I got my thing covered up for combining.
The meeting will also be recorded via Zoom. A DVD copy will be available no later than 2 weeks following today's meeting. The full agenda, including reports, is available on the library website at www.saclibrary.org. Members of the audience wishing to address the board should raise their hand in the Zoom program. Please speak clearly when addressing the board and state your name for the record. Comments are limited to 3 minutes so that everyone may be heard. Please also note that participation on this teleconference via telephone rather than the Zoom app may result in your telephone number being visible to the public during the live broadcast and later telecasts of this meeting.
So thank you very much, Heather. Before we begin, I just want to remind all participants, I know it seems like in a lot of these library board meetings, we have a lot of people on the line. And so I'm going to ask if you're not speaking to mute during the meeting. You can click on participants at the bottom of the Zoom and select, if you click on participants, it'll show the participants along the side of your, probably on the side of your computer. And you can click to raise your hand, and that will give me that will raise you to the top of the list and give me a heads up that you would like to speak. If you're a person who is calling in, just simply unmute your phone and state your name and state that you would like to speak. And if you're a public member, we're going to invite public comment in just a moment here. And then if you have comments on a specific agenda item, hold off those comments until that agenda item, and you'll have an opportunity to speak at that time. There's a chat window at the bottom of the screen, and due to Brown Act requirements, we chat to everyone. And then also I just want to add that there will be a closed session at the end of this meeting. At that time, we'll be asking all board members to remain on the call while public members will exit, and Jared at that time will instruct us on how to proceed and when we're able to proceed. And so at this time, I'm going to invite any public comment for any items that are not on the agenda. And I don't know if we have any, I see the agenda on my screen. Do we have any public members, Jared, that, oh wait, let me. This is,
So it looks like we can move forward.
I don't see, I do not see any hands raised, and so it looks like we can move forward. So I just wanted to open the meeting with a couple of comments. Since our last meeting, the authority board, library authority has been so busy. And I know our CEO, Rivka Sass, and key staff have been working closely with the Sacramento County and the director of public health, Sacramento County Health Director, and we're working, our staff are working on a plan that will gradually open the library system and help us remain compliant while doing so. The goal is to get us open as quickly as possible and as safely as possible. I want to thank Rivka and the entire executive team who have continued to find creative ways to engage the community and serve our members. And I know we're going to see more of that in our presentations coming up. I also want to thank you, Rivka, and all of you for keeping us informed. And on, along the way, there were some important events that took place and you kept us up to date. And we all, on behalf of the board, we all really appreciate that. It kind of looks like the stay-at-home order this directive is through May 1st, but it kind of looks like it's going to open gradually. And so with that in mind, our goal is to remain flexible and try to preserve our resources and our assets while continuing to expand and improve the library services. Lately, I've been thinking a lot about Amber Clark, who advocated so ferociously for accessibility. I mean, she was a champion, and now more than ever, it's vital that everybody has accessibility, and we don't even associate it anymore with it's like for everybody.
Yeah.
Accessibility is for everybody. So with that, I am going to ask our clerk to read our next agenda item, please.
Item 3.1, Friends of the Sacramento Public Library, Book First and Big Day of Giving.
Thank you, Heather. I'm going to it's my pleasure to introduce Karen Wilson from the Friends of Sacramento Public Library. And we're very excited about the work that we do with our friends, our official fundraising partners, and the effort that they've put into extending our reach to kids who need access to books. So Karen, would you like to take over the mic?
Great, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great, thanks. We're excited to be able to speak to you today. Thank you. We, like everybody else, are looking forward to the library's opening again and a return to the things that we normally do to help the library. A Book First is our favorite project that we do in that regard. And all of the funds that we raise through the Big Day of Giving on May 7th, which is this year's date, go to the Book First program. And that, as you know, provides a free book to keep for first graders in underserved schools. And it allows local first graders to become confident readers, because if they're not confident readers by third grade, their whole school career is compromised. And we want to connect them in an exciting new aspect of this year's Book First, we hope, will be to connect them with the library by perhaps funding buses that will take classes of kids to the library to actually see what goes on in a world of books, which is, I think, will be very exciting. So to date, we've raised $150,000 in the 4 years that we've done the program for Book First. And what that does is purchase the books, and Donna Zick, the library's children's services coordinator leader, does that purchasing and selects them. And then the volunteers come in and sort the books by classroom and grade level, reading level. And that's very exciting. We have dozens and dozens of volunteers who can't wait every year now to do that job. And this is the kids selecting the books at one of the schools. We've gone from 116 schools and just over 8,500 students to 171 schools and more than 14,000 students. And that reflects that many children, a large percentage of children, are in the free lunch program in schools. And so these are kids who maybe not have books to keep other than the one that we give them through Book First. So these are some of the teacher feedback remarks that you're seeing on your screen. And the kids, we've had volunteers say that they walk across the school campuses, and third graders now who got the books in first grade will say, "Oh, hi, Cat in the Hat," because our volunteers often are dressed as the Cat in the Hat. So I think a real important part of the program is the caring adults who are our volunteers who come onto the campus and say, "You're important to us. It's important to us that you learn to read." And they see that because we're there. So it's a great program with the library. We really look forward to doing it every year. We want to be flexible this coming year. The funds that we raise on May 7th will go to provide books for the next school year, whatever that looks like. But as Rivka says, even in the middle of all of this, kids still have to learn to read. And we want to help them do that. So I don't know if you have any questions about it, but these are volunteers sorting the books. This year we had a lot of volunteers from Delta Dental, and the word is getting out among community groups and companies that this is a great volunteer opportunity for them. They really enjoy it for all the reasons that I just said to you. So it's a great engaging program. If you haven't already joined us in the schools, we'd love to have you do that. And of course, promote us on the big day of giving. We have no idea what any of it is going to look like this year. We're flexible, but we will do the program in the coming year. We will give what money we have to the library to do the program. Any questions?
Thank you, Karen. And, I don't know if we have anyone who wants to say anything, but I want to thank the Friends of the Library for your longtime loyal support. It means so much to all of us, and the funds that you raise and the activities that you are part of make everything the Library Authority brings to make the whole system better. And we sure appreciate all that you bring. Thank you.
Thank you. We're happy to be a part of it.
Any other comments from board members? Thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
Item 3.2, Proclamation celebrating National Library Workers' Day.
So this is National Library Week, and as somebody who's been a librarian at this point for 4 decades, I have to say it's the strangest National Library Week in my very long career. We have a little tradition here over the last few years at Sacramento Public Library where the management team gets in a van driven by the inimitable Paula Stevens-Pike, who is our supervisor of logistics. And we visit all the branches and we either recite really bad poetry or we sing a little song to all of the library workers in all of our departments and branches. And naturally, we're all sheltering in place, so we don't get to do that. So this year we did it virtually. And we think it's important to recognize the work of staff, and we can't wait to have everybody back in place working again. But it felt like a little bit of normal to acknowledge that Tuesday was National Library Workers Day, and that we really thank all of the staff at Sacramento Public Library, because we are what makes the library the library. It's the staff who are out there, whether it's Sally and Real Linda or Natalie in the Delta or Carrie and Arden Dimmick and all the other locations. We have amazing teams of people. Our IT staff are here in the room with us. So I can't thank every single person. I wish I could, but please know that we're thinking of you today.
The Library Authority's greatest asset is the staff. And I hope, I don't know how many staff might be here today, but they're at the forefront of all of our minds. We're trying to figure out how to do our best to make sure we figure out ways to keep them working and get back to work as quick as possible. So thank you all. And thank you for that update, Rivka.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
Item 3.3, volunteer recognition.
So again, I want it. We have to feel like life is a little bit normal, and the library can't function without all of the volunteers. You just heard what Karen Wilson had to say about the Friends and the incredible number of Friends hours that are put in every year to support the library. But this is also National Volunteer Week, and we wanted to make sure that the board is aware of the almost 100,000 hours of service that we get in our libraries, from teens on up through, I think we have some 90-year-olds who volunteer, and including almost 56,000 hours by the Friends, and our tutors and all of the other people who, whether it's helping to shelve books or do our lists for holds or helping in summer reading, all of those things are important. And again, the proclamation recognizes the incredibly hard work that all of our volunteers and the love that they have for the library. So thank you.
Thank you. And thank you to all the volunteers. That accrues too to our bottom line. It helps us deliver more. And so we do appreciate it.
Well, when you think about the fact that I think the value of an hour of volunteer service is something in the neighborhood of $27, that's significant.
Yeah. Great. I wish we could see them. It's not the same when we're on this call and they're not in the room. But I guess those days are coming soon. So
I hope so.
We'll look forward to those days. So at this time, we'll go to our next item, please.
Item 4.1, Director's Report.
I will refer the board to the written report, but I want to call out a couple of things. And that is, while it seems like a million years ago, again, volunteers, mostly from the Friends of the Library, were incredibly important on Election Day. Over the course of the month where we did vote by mail, the library received more than 90,000 ballots. We were incredibly busy on March 3rd. We were open from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. Couldn't have done it without the incredible flexibility of staff who changed their schedules so that we could be open 13 hours, as well as all of the volunteers. I also want to turn it over to Jared to talk about a couple of things, including some computers that will go out into the community and some other ways of extending access to people through maybe library networks and things like that. And before I turn it over, I also want to mention that while again, it seems like a million years ago, there was a party for us at the Public Library Association conference because Sacramento Public Library is the first library in the country to receive the Jerry Klein Community Impact Prize. And it was a really sweet party. A number of staff and managers were there, and we got a check for $250,000. So we're pretty excited about that. Jared, do you want to talk a little bit about the other things? I think this is so fun.
Yes, thank you, Rivka. So as Rivka mentioned, we do actually have some very exciting things that we're doing at the library, and especially to help during this time. The first is, as we have all found out, the digital divide is sadly alive and well. And in fact, during this pandemic, it has the chasm has even widened even further. So what we've discovered is that many do not have access and also do not have devices. So this has been on the news and everyone has seen this. So how we are helping is Sacramento Public Library actually had the honor of filing comments to the California Public Utilities Commission regarding use of the California Advanced Services Fund, which is set aside to help connect rurally isolated areas, as well as areas with not connectivity. So this program's been kind of a difficult program in the past to get funding from. And so the California Public Utilities Commission had asked us to file comments on it. And as part of what we've been advocating for is what this has shown us is that really we need to start looking at the whole entire concept of municipal Wi-Fi for Sacramento, because as we know, connectivity is just not robust here. So we are advocating that funds could be used because our libraries are in the heart of all of our communities throughout California. And that California Public Libraries could really be a critical anchor institution in the concept of municipal Wi-Fi. So we did file public comment on that, and we're actually very excited that the Public Utilities Commission came to us. Another area where we're helping and where I really have to give a call out to the wonderful IT team here at Sacramento Public Library is, as we've seen in the news, now that education has gone online, there simply are not enough devices out there. So annually, Sacramento Public Library conducts a PC refresh. And what we are doing this year is we are refreshing 284 Dell all-in-one machines, and we're going to be transferring those to the Sacramento County Office of Education. We are targeting the first week of May to be able to transfer over 100, with the goal before the end of May to transfer the remainder of them. And these machines will go definitely to students who are in need. So we're very proud and very excited to be able to contribute on two different fronts here for both digital divide as well as the technology and device divide. So I want to thank you very much. And I really want to give a shout out to the IT team who has really been working hard to be able to get these devices ready and into the hands of the students.
Where do those computers come from, Jared?
Thank you, Jared.
So the computers are annually we do PC refreshes from our branches. And so these are a combination of both staff machines and public machines. And so we annually rotate through different branches. So they're coming out of about 5 specific locations.
So people can just drop off an old computer at one of the libraries?
No, what these are machines that we have for public use that our patrons use. And these are ones that have, every 3 to 5 years, we put in new machines. So those machines that are going out of service are being set up, and so they can be transferred to Sacramento County Office of Ed, so they can then repurpose them and give them to students.
And one of our board members, Karina Talamontes, would like to make a comment.
Yeah, so on behalf of the County Board of Education, we just wanted to thank Jared and his team. The laptops or the computers will be going to our special education department and to their families. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Karina. Thank you, Jared. That's exciting. And I heard, I've been hearing a lot about the IT team at the Library Authority lately. Seems like you're kicking up to the next notch in this day and age.
They are truly an incredible team, and we're very lucky to have them.
Director Frost, may I mention one more thing in the director's report?
Sure.
In our statistics, we've learned, we're trying to actually serve the community through virtual programming. We have story times, we have book recommendation groups, we do a happy hour on Thursdays at 5:00. We have a lot of activities going on, and but it's been interesting how people are making use now of our electronic resources that often they were not aware of. I believe usage of our ebook collection went up something like 25% in 2 weeks. And people are discovering it on a daily basis and expressing how excited they are. So we also see some changes to, I think, how people will use the library as we move forward post-COVID-19. Thank you.
And the changes have to do with IT and so forth, Rivka?
Well, the changes are actually related to how our collections work. Libraries used to be all about physical collections, and now we're a combination of both physical books and physical collections to, increased usage of ebooks, and probably the most popular item is e-audiobooks. I could not survive without being able to listen to books, and many of us have made that transition. So it's an interesting time.
Yeah, I agree. So does that conclude your director's report?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Next item, please.
Item 5.1, monthly financial report, November 2019.
Heather, I think you can go ahead and read all of the information items.
Okay. Item 5.2, monthly treasurer's report, November 2019. Item 5.3, monthly financial report, December 2019. Item 5.4, quarterly investment report, Q3, December 2019.
So I think those you are for information only, Rivka. We're
Yes.
not, we'll let everyone, I guess I'll ask if there is anyone who had any questions or comments regarding the information items. And I do not see any hands raised or any communication. So with that, we'll move to consent. The next item, please.
Item 6.1, action summary. Do I continue to read them all? Item 6.2, grants, gifts, and donations report and fiscal year 2019 to 20 budget amendment. Item 6.3, ratify contracts and procurement policy. The revised policy clarifies the library's procedures for purchasing during an emergency such as COVID-19 and makes other clarifying changes. Item 6.4, designation of authorized representatives for federal assistance. Adopt Cal OES form resolution designating the library director and finance manager as the library's agents for obtaining federal or state financial assistance and authorize them to submit all necessary documentation for reimbursement of COVID-19 expenses.
So do we have any directors who have any questions or comments regarding information items?
Sue, this is Director Slowey. I would move the item.
Second that, Director Sue.
Sorry. Yes, so we have a motion by Director Jeff Slowey and a second by Director Darren Soon. And we will do a roll call vote, please.
Patrick Kennedy.
Sorry, can we make sure we don't have any public comment first?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Do you have any public comment on consent items? Seeing no hands raised and no comments in the chat or requests in the chat, we will go ahead and do a roll call vote, please. Thanks, Jen.
Patrick Kennedy.
Aye.
Saul Hernandez.
Aye.
Karina Talamontes.
Hi.
Rick Jennings.
Aye.
Darren Soon.
Aye.
Sue Frost.
Aye.
Eric Guerra.
Aye.
Jeff Slowey.
Aye.
Larry Carr.
Aye.
Don Natoli.
Aye.
Sean Farmer.
Aye.
Garrett Gatewood.
Heather, this is Stephanie Wynn. I'm here, and
Oh, okay. Stephanie Wynn. And Garrett Gatewood. He may have left.
So we have a unanimous vote with those present. Heather?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, next item, please.
Item 7.1, COVID-19, authorize the library director to take recommended actions related to library staffing and operations in response to COVID-19.
Okay, so Rivka, were you going to present anything on this item?
Well, I just want to sort of run through it very quickly. What we're trying to do, what the intention is with this, is to help us all be as flexible as possible regarding whatever directives we're receiving from the county and state health departments, so that we stay in alignment with the directives regarding shelter in place, and also to begin looking at how we might rethink library services. Just this week, I want to give a shout out to Jared and Kathy Middleton and Karen Leland. We've been talking about how we might very slowly begin to offer limited services, again, especially because of challenges many in our community face regarding applying for unemployment and other things. But also knowing that we have to keep everyone as safe as possible. We need to look at staffing and have some conversations with our representatives from Local 39. And then we're asking the board to reauthorize the Budget Audit Committee to make decisions in between meetings if we need to, because it's easier to get the 5 people on the Budget Audit Committee together for a Zoom meeting, and a little bit more efficient than having to wait until the end of May, which is our next regularly scheduled board meeting. So we tried to provide a chronology for you of the background, and I'm happy to answer any other questions, except I want to also mention we're already modeling our 2021 fiscal year 2021 budget, which begins July 1, and we're trying to be very prudent about where we are, where we think we'll be when July 1 comes around. So happy to answer questions.
And I also want to say that it seems like there are opportunities, different funding opportunities emerging, and it's all changing so quickly. It's kind of hard to jump on some of those opportunities. Part of this is about giving them flexibility as well. And I see Director Carr has raised his hand.
Yes, thank you, Rivka. What type of decisions would we be authorizing the Budget and Audit Committee to do on behalf of the board? What do you envision with that?
Thank you, Director Carr. How we've been handling it since since we started all of this on March 18th, when we delegated to we meet with the Finance Audit Committee, so we are in alignment with all of our partner agencies, the finance managers of all the partner agencies. Then we ask the Budget Audit Committee to help us determine whether or not, I think the easiest example is, do we remain closed, or do we begin thinking about how we're going to begin offering library services? We're doing a lot of things online. We're planning until we can all be together, we're planning virtual summer reading program, for example. But in the meantime, it's how do we take actions that we need to take in a more kind of dynamic fashion. So that's what the Budget Audit Committee was charged with back in March. And we just want to, I guess, in a way, ratify that is still the right course of action.
Well, you say in one that we're going to align ourselves with state and local directors, but 4, it gives a blank authorization for the board to delegate its total authority to a committee of a few people. And that may be necessary, but I'm wondering what types of decisions have to be made in a hurry like that, especially if we're talking about just aligning ourselves with state law.
Well, the kinds of decisions also include, we're developing a phased plan of reopening, and we've been in touch with the county's health director, and we want to be able to meet with him and then come back to the Budget Audit Committee and say, whether he's given us a thumbs up or a sideways thumbs or a thumbs down, to be able to offer up some additional other, I guess, the beginning of how we would open. And we need a little bit of flexibility for that. And it probably needs to happen before we certainly know we're not going to be fully open probably for a few more months. We don't know. All of this is the great unknown. We are all learning together, and we are just asking for the flexibility to continue on the path of working with the Budget Audit Committee in between meetings.
Thank you.
I hope that helps.
Director Slowey.
Yeah, actually, Rivka answered my question by answering Larry's, so I'm good.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, Director Jennings.
Thank you. Can you just remind some of us who are new to the board who's on the Budget and Audit Committee?
Yes, the Budget Audit Committee includes Chair Frost, Director Slowey, Vice Chair Guerra, Garrett, Director
Jared, you
Gatewood.
are muted. Yeah.
We have 5 members, and it's switching over this month, and that's why I'm trying to remember who last year was and who this year is. I'm sorry. Who am I missing?
I believe Jeff Slowey, Frost, Darren Soon.
Darren Soon. Sorry, Darren. Former chair, current chair, next chair. As well, sorry, and
okay.
As well as
Director
Slowey, who provides the corporate memory for us, if you will, because he's been on the board the longest. And I believe Director Gatewood also volunteered. So it's a good mix because it represents most of the jurisdictions.
So I used to be on that board and I remember that, but what I don't remember is when that board gets together and makes decisions, what's the process of reporting out those decisions to the rest of the board?
It's an open meeting, and so it's just like a board meeting in the sense that we have to notice it and report out. So we would report out to the rest of the board what the decisions were with a communication.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Can others come to that meeting? I mean, if anyone who wants to come is welcome.
And I will say, I think at the last Budget Audit Committee, we had about 100 visitors via Zoom.
But I'm talking about board members.
Oh, board members, of course. I think, unless our attorney has a different opinion.
Yeah.
So technically, no. If other board members are there and participating in the discussion, that could potentially be problematic.
Can they come and listen if they want?
Yeah.
As an ex officio kind of member?
They can certainly attend via Zoom and listen.
Does that answer your question, Rick? Okay, Director Soon.
Thank you, Chair. Rivka, I was just wondering, while we're still under these stay-at-home orders, if we're thinking about a process to open ourselves, just for consideration, I'm sure they'll come down with their own directives, but perhaps, we can, taking the operations of the libraries into account, maybe we can come up with some of our own, right? Whether it's taking temperatures with people walking in, masks required for, visitors and staff, those kinds of things.
Mm-hmm. So once we finish our sort of draft phased opening plan and sit down with Dr. Bielenson, then we'll certainly talk about that with staff and with get sign off from the Budget Audit Committee, and then talk about it with staff so that we're all on the same page with this, because we recognize certainly there are people who have concerns about doing this. We also have a few staff who are waiting in the wings to provide services because they know what the needs are in the community. So our intention is not to do anything that puts people in jeopardy, that certainly impacts people negatively. And certainly we would not do anything that is not in alignment with what our public health director believes. In a brief conversation with him, he indicated to me that he believes libraries are truly an essential service because of, especially these days with the digital divide. And we have many thousands of people in this community who cannot effectively apply for unemployment insurance because they only have mobile devices. There are other challenges that the community faces, but we also know we have to create the social distancing and the safety protocols that are required so that we don't endanger staff and we don't endanger the public.
Thank you.
I have a comment if I can.
Sure.
Yes.
Just wanted to kind of piggyback on what Darren was just saying. That can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Just piggybacking on what Darren was just referring to. Obviously, we all agree that we're going to follow the lead of what the county sets forth with any type of phased reopening of sorts. But I do agree with Darren that I think we should start the conversation about what that would look like under, say, because what I don't think is going to happen is the county's not just going to come back and say, these people can open, these people do. I don't know that they're going to actually name the library and say the library can do specifically that. I think there's going to be a little bit of discretion left to different entities. And I think that it's going to be up to us. We're going to be told that we're allowed to relax the precautions that we're doing. And then we're going to say, okay, well, what does that look like? So if we are able to have that conversation ahead of time and kind of say like, well, what would be the first relaxed step back that we would do? And, whether it be masks, entering the library or whatever, like Darren said, then we can kind of set in place like what we think we would do. And then we can kind of tweak it according to what the county lets us. But I think we should definitely start having the conversation and not be caught off guard with not a plan in place.
Well, that's exactly why we've started a written plan. In fact, I'm going to use the incredible feature in Zoom and applaud Jared Keller, because the other night he said at about midnight, he started drafting this, and the next day it really is. I think it's a work of art, and it's very much in alignment with what we're reading nationally about libraries' plans for phased reopening. And I think it's very much in line with the best practices and the safety practices that we need to have. So I think we'll do it right, or we'll do our best to do it right.
Is there a way that once you get the draft together that we can do a workshop on this for the whole board?
Yes, I think so. Certainly.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm referring to our council.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we can schedule, it would be if it's a workshop of the full board, it would be a board meeting and it would be noticed that way.
Okay. Which we can do in 24 hours. So we'd be happy to do that. That's great.
That might give everyone a chance to have some input, and there might be some good ideas that come out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Director Carr.
Yes, I'm still stuck on number 4 of the item before us. And first question, has the Budget and Audit Committee made any decisions yet that would normally be under the purview of the whole board?
Well, one of the as you will remember, one of the issues that we were dealing with, especially in the beginning days of this, the public health directives, the closure directives started happening in mid-March. And so it was at the March 18th board meeting that the board authorized the Budget Audit Committee to take actions so that we could continue to keep closed in alignment with the directives, so that it wasn't just a staff decision, which is why the Finance Advisory and Budget Audit Committees met on March 26th and allowed us to stay closed through April the 10th, and then again met on March 8th so that we could stay closed through May 1st. So all of those actions were taken by the Budget Audit Committee so that we did not have to convene the full board. And that initial decision was made on March 18th to allow that to happen. And we were doing it both for the sake of efficiency and also knowing that all of you are dealing with the many, many other committees and commissions and boards that you serve on. So we were doing it in part because it's kind of pro forma. When we get a directive from the county health officer to stay closed, it seems like more work for all of you to come together for a meeting to say, yes, let's stay closed, if that makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense. I would still feel better about abdicating my responsibility if two things would happen.
Okay.
One, any decision made by the Budget and Audit Committee should be reported immediately to the rest of the board.
Okay.
I don't want to have to go to a meeting of the Budget and Audit Committee and surf through to find out what decisions have been made.
We can do that.
And the second thing is any of those decisions that are made should be considered by the full board at the next board meeting. There should be an action item on the board's agenda to affirm what the Budget and Audit Committee has done.
So I just want to be clear. So at the second one, the second one is you want the decisions made at Budget Audit to be ratified by the entire board through a consent item. Would that be adequate? Okay.
It can be dissent or consent. Someone may pull it and it could be discussion.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I support Director Carr's comments. I think a consent would be fine. And just being proactive with pushing that information to the board saying, hey, this is what took place at a budget meeting. If we're not just happen to not know when that meeting took place or what transpired, or we don't have to watch it, if we could just be given the heads up, I would like that too.
We can certainly do that.
All good comments.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the board? Do we have any public members who would like to speak on this item? At this time, I'll call for public comment. I do not see public comment. Does anyone else see public comment? Okay, I believe I don't have public comment, so I'll call for a motion.
I move the act.
Okay, we have a motion by Director Carr.
I second the motion.
Was that Director Soon that seconded?
No, that was Director Jennings.
Director Jennings. I'm sorry. Director Jennings seconded, and roll call vote, please.
Patrick Kennedy,
Aye.
Saul Hernandez,
Aye.
Karina Talamontes,
Aye.
Rick Jennings,
Aye.
Darren Soon,
Aye.
Sue Frost,
Aye.
Eric Guerra,
Aye.
Jeff Slowey,
Aye.
Larry Carr,
Aye.
Don Natoli,
Aye.
Sean Farmer,
Aye.
Stephanie Nguyen,
Aye.
and Garrett Gatewood if he's here. It's unanimous.
Okay, unanimous with those present, so the motion passes. And next item, please.
It's the closed session.
Okay, so at this time, whoa, that was fast. At this time, the board remains as others exit the call. And Jared will let us know when it's time to move forward.
So what we do ask at this time is if non-board members could please exit the call at this time. Otherwise, we can put you in a waiting room, but it would make it a little easier with us, being that there are over 117 people in the in the Zoom room. So we do ask if you could exit the meeting at this time, and all authority members please stay in the room.
Okay, and at this time, we are reconvening our meeting for the Library Authority Board, and our legal will report out on our closed session. Jennifer Gore.
Thank you. Yes, we don't have any reportable action out of closed session at this time.
Thank you. And I want to thank everyone for your time today and all your input. And if there are no further comments from the board, or Rivka, did you have any other further comments before closing our meeting?
No, I just want to thank everyone for attending today, and we look forward to seeing you all in person one of these days. Thank you.
One of these days soon.
I hope so.
Thank you everyone for being here, and this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.